Hello everyone, welcome to Enlite IAS Topper's Talk. Today we are more than delighted to present to all of you one of our meritorious candidates, Smilna Sudhakar, who secured the 69th rank in the Forest Services Examination 2019 and 458th rank in the Civil Services Examination 2019. Hello Smilna, welcome to Topper's Talk. You are such an inspiration for a lot of us over here. So it's been two big achievements back to back. How do you feel?
It's a very happy moment for me. So, and again, it was a very long journey. So it's kind of a completion feeling is there. So I'm extremely happy right now.
So would you introduce yourself for our audience out there?
Sure. I'm Smilna Sudhakar. I'm from Kannur district of Kerala. So I have done my schooling there in Kannur only. So I studied in Kirattur West LP School, Kirattur UP School and Mambaram Higher Secondary School. After that I have moved to Thiruvananthapuram for BTech studies in College of Engineering Thiruvananthapuram. Then I have worked in Wipro Technology for almost 3.5 years. From that time onwards I was preparing for Civil Service Examination. Then I mean after 2016 onwards I am completely into preparation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's been a long journey.
Yes, it
So
was.
one finds it really difficult to keep up the motivation especially when the journey is long. So what kept you motivated all throughout?
What I feel is from the very beginning itself I felt it's a very big challenge for me.
Okay.
So every year it was kind of every year my mentors helped me to understand there is some deficiency always lacking in me.
Okay.
So always I have the motivation or like a kind of motivation to correct it. More than achievement, I always had the motivation to correct what is some kind of deficiency in me.
Okay.
So in the entire long journey, for me it was such kind of experiences.
Okay.
So I think that may be the reason which helped me to go through the entire 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for Civil Services exam, we have 3 stages: preliminary examination, mains and the personality test. So which of these 3 stages did you find most challenging for you?
Actually for me like all the stages were difficult till I clear the particular challenge.
Okay.
So initially my first 3 attempts I could not clear the preliminary examination.
Okay.
Like after that I started clearing preliminary examination with the Indian Forest Service cutoff.
Okay.
So next 2 years it was very difficult for me to clear main stage.
Okay.
So it was my 6th attempt I could clear the final I could come into final list.
Okay.
So every stage I felt some kind of challenges and I had to like overcome it.
Okay.
So it was.
So initially you found it difficult to clear prelims, and then you started clearing prelims with forest cutoff. So that is a very big achievement. So how did you change your strategy for preliminary examination?
So initially when I was like preparing for preliminary, I didn't have a proper strategy in my mind. So it was just like that. I just continue preparing all these 3-4 months continuously. Okay. For the preliminary. But from my 3rd attempt onwards, I had a kind of proper strategy was there what I will do in the entire 4 months of time. Okay. So and the last month I started, I slowly changed my answering style in preliminary. Okay, I started following almost 3-4 rounds in appearing prelims examination, throughout the prelims examination. So that gave me to save negative marks. Okay. So my accuracy level improved. Okay. So even though in my last 3 prelims which I have cleared, there I answered only 75 to 80 questions. Okay. But my accuracy level increased due to the how I attempted through the rounds. Okay. I always take almost 3-4 rounds to complete preliminary examination.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what about the resources that you used for preparing for preliminary examination? So
basically I stick to NCERTs. So basic textbooks I every year I think all the 6 years I continuously revise the NCERTs. So along with that like some standard textbooks like Lakshmikant I used to read. And for history was my optional, so specific resources I did not follow for history optional. So basically I feel I relied on NCERTs and more tests I used to do. I almost attempt around 40 to 50 tests for every preliminary exam.
Okay. So you would say that basic textbooks, planned strategy and improved accuracy is what helped you
Yes,
with
exactly.
preliminary
Yes,
examination. Okay. So now coming to the second stage, that is mains examination.
Sure.
So I still remember the first day I saw you at Enlite. It was after prelims last year, sometime I think in June of 2019
Yes,
itself.
yes, yeah.
Yes, and you were here preparing from day to night. You used to sit here in the library and prepare. So how did you go about with your mains examination preparation?
Actually, last year when I came to Enlite, the first contribution I got from my mentors, Mahesh sir and Abhilash sir, was like they clearly identified what is lacking in me.
Okay.
So in my basic writing strategy itself, there was something which was completely lacking in my writing. So sometime I concentrate in some specific field. So there was a concern that like a wide thinking was missing in my answers. And even when I'm presenting some answers, there was some some kind of brevity was missing in my answers. So exactly they made me understood within the first week itself what is lacking me in my answer writing. So from that day onwards, I got a direction, like a direction what to change in these 3 months. So that is what I did in general studies. Apart from test series, so you know about our mains test series. So how hectic it is for the teachers to verify. Along with that, they used to correct so many answers of me. Like I got around, I think more than 200 answers corrected in polity and ethics alone. I have the answers with me. So like such kind of attention I was getting from the day one itself. And for my optional also, I got guidance from Angel Raj, our history faculty, as well as Mahesh sir. So throughout the mains preparation, like they were there like a pillars, and also to guide in every day, like which direction to go. So that actually changed my mains preparation, and exactly I was literally following their direction. So more than like I'm planning, I completely followed the Enlite mains test series timetable, as well as like a direction from the respective mentors.
So as you mentioned, your optional is history. And as an outsider for history, I have this perspective that it is a pretty vast subject. Is it so?
Yes, it is.
So how did you kind of find the balance between preparing for the general studies papers and the optional subject, that is history, which is a vast paper in itself? How did you find that balance?
Yes, that is the biggest problem with the history optional, because every time, like during the prelims to mains time, we need to spend almost 6 hours entirely specific to history optional. So actually I felt it because like I mainly relied on Enlite materials. So especially our current affairs materials, as well as like our test discussion topics. So mainly I covered general studies area from our discussion and test key material. So I could not spend much time on general studies this time. So I could able to manage because of the proper test series and guidance from, and maybe because I'm writing for last 6 years, I had some like notes prepared for history. I think really for a freshers it's very difficult to handle with the history optional.
So with this experience that you have had with history for this long period of time, what would you suggest for the freshers out there who are planning to take history as their optional subject?
So first of all, like we need to go really depth in history. So it is a time consuming optional. So if you really want to take a history as an optional, from the very first day when you are starting your preparation, from that day onwards, at least you need to spend around 4 to 6 hours daily for your specific optional preparation. I mean, do not compromise on that. Otherwise, history, timetable won't get covered. So even after the preparation, after the notes preparation, concentrate on the map pointing aspect, because ancient India, we need to mention so many site name and so many specific details are needed, and always concentrated on the debate side. So more than static history areas, there are some specific area where debates are there. Different people interpret differently.
Okay.
So such area we need to concentrate. And always give priority to cover the syllabus.
Okay.
So short questions are there, you know that. So short questions are there. So cover the syllabus first and concentrate on the places where debates are there. Debates are there among historians.
Okay.
And make notes. So that is what what I feel. And always just focus on NCERT. So first preference is cover NCERT, then go for reference books.
Okay.
So that is what I feel.
Now, did history as your optional subject help you with other GS papers, including essay? Did it have a beneficial overlap with the other papers?
Actually, with the history optional, general studies first paper we have some advantage in that, but we cannot say always we have that, because the questions are such that it is oriented towards a general studies student. Okay, so the same question, like when it is asking in history or as a history optional question and GS questions, answers are different. So if it is a history optional, we go in depth. But in GS question, our intention to bring more examples and more scope into that.
Okay.
So we will be familiar with the question. We will be a bit more familiar with the question. So when it comes to GS. But the answering style, I think we need more practice in the GS way itself.
Okay.
So in essay, since I am a history optional student, I used to bring an extra dimension, like historical aspect of the topic. So that one paragraph there after the introduction, since I have this benefit, I try to bring that aspect.
Okay.
So in that way, like sometime history optional have helped me in GS aspect.
Okay. Now coming to the mains examination, answer writing part, especially in the general studies paper, including the essay paper, is kind of a scary dream for many people out there, especially for people who are yet to give their mains examination. So how was it for you as far as the answer writing part is concerned? Was it a big challenge?
So initially itself, completing that particular word limit, I felt it is a challenge. So initially I didn't have that much command on the language part.
Okay.
So it was big challenge for me to write that much without having much issues with that. So when my mentors told me that we don't need to worry about it, we don't need to worry about much about the grammatic aspect in our papers, and we don't need to use tough words and all. So that relieved me from that pain.
Okay.
So it gave me confidence to write more in that. But in the answer writing part, what I feel biggest
So you believe practicing answer writing would be the best way to tackle that?
Yes, of course. I think the central thing, what we need to concentrate in mains examination is answer writing. Okay. And more than within answer writing itself, even if you from the very starting stage, we won't be having the content with us. So that is okay. Content will be there after 1 year, after you reading newspapers and after reading standard books, content will come. Okay. But from the very beginning stage, we need to focus on how to structure the answer. Okay. So we should be I think we really need a guidance there. Okay. So somebody need to read our answers and tell that you are missing out this particular aspect. Okay. So that kind of from the very beginning, if you are practicing that, and before prelims itself, before prelims itself, if you are good in that, I think mains preparation is not that much big concern.
Okay. So supervised answer writing practice.
Yes.
Yes. Fine. Now let's come to the actual examination when you went to the hall. That is for your actual mains.
Yes.
So how was it? 3 hours in, to 20 questions in 3 hours. Did you complete all the papers, including your optional? Did you complete all the papers?
Yeah, compared to last year, I could complete all the papers this year.
Okay.
So I completed the entire GS paper. Okay. Only I had bit time concern in GS4.
Ethics paper.
Okay. So that I think that is for everyone. They introduced new style of case study and all this time. So we all had that time issue, but other papers including optional I could able to complete it this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So time management was also something you worked upon?
Yes, exactly. I used to write, I mean, whatever test series and all we had here. So I used to write exams in a proper time scale. So initially I remember our first test like geography and sociology.
Yeah.
So I could able to write only 12 questions.
Yeah, me too. I think I also wrote only around 10 to 12 questions,
10 to 12,
11 maybe.
Yeah, I wrote only 12 questions, and the 15 markers, I start with 15 markers, then come to 10 markers. So almost 6-10 markers were completely outside. Okay. So, and after that I improved. So every sectional test goes like one questions increased. So sometime then I think after the first test only, mentors like they directed that try to complete the paper. I think you also remember, last 15 minutes just try to complete the paper. So I started practicing that, and it was very slow. So every paper 1 or 2 questions increased. Finally I could able to, in the last our final test, I started completing the paper. So I think that helped me there also this time.
So now coming to the personality test. So you had attended 2 interviews in the UPSC Bhavan this time, one for forest examination and the other for civil services examination. So as a person who has attended 2 fresh interviews in the recent, what would you like to say about your experience with personality test?
Since this is my first interview experience, I had a lot of fear in me when I first went to Indian Forest Service Examination interview. But what I feel is I had a very good experience. Both the time I had a very good experience, and even the time when I could not complete the sentence and all, they actually helped me back. Okay, they literally encouraged me to speak. So initially itself we know that like initially they make us very comfortable asking questions and all. So basically I felt is that if you have a proper preparation before, like no preparation in the sense not about reading so many things or things, like discuss with friends, have a balanced opinion about it, and ourselves have a very good understanding about the things. I mean very clear understanding about issues happening. So it would be like a conversation like this. So it completely went to a conversation mode. So that actually helped me to relax also. I was very free to express my own opinion there. So in that way, like Enlite mock interviews and my sir's guidance. So initially every day evening, I mean, every alternate day I used to come to my sir, and he used to guide me in one-on-one interactions. So slowly, initially first mock interview of Enlite IAS. So I was very much underperforming. I mean the panel gave me almost 140 to 160 marks. So after that I asked them how much marks I'll get. I was getting around 140 to 160. Then within 2 weeks, I think this one-on-one session with my sir, Abhilaj sir, that only slowly improved me and made me too confident.
So this 140 is when you gave your mock interview for the Forest Service Examination.
And
what was your actual score for the Forest Service Examination?
I got 210.
Wow, that is a very good score. Congratulations on that too.
Thank you.
Yeah, so here we have someone who has clearly overcome all her obstacles. She was someone who found it very difficult to clear prelims in the first stage, but later on she started clearing prelims with the forest cutoff. Here is someone who was very not so confident about her interview preparation. She was awarded only around 140 to 160 during her first mock interview experience, but from there for the actual interview she scored around 210. So initially during the introduction when I said that she continues to be an inspiration for a lot of us over here, now you would understand why. Yeah. So now coming to the entire journey, you know, like when you look back, it's been a 5 to 6 year long journey. So there were times when things didn't go the way you planned, and there were times when things didn't work out the way in which it should have. So you told me that you always found a deficiency. There were reasons why things didn't work out well.
Yes.
So you tried to work on those reasons
Yes.
to give a successful, complete attempt. But still, when the journey becomes so long, there are chances for one to get demotivated and discouraged and all that. So how did you overcome all of that?
So what I initially spoke about, deficiency and all this brain thinking will come late.
Okay.
So when the result come, it is like completely destroyed for 1 week,
Okay.
1 or 2 weeks time.
Yeah,
It's
we all
completely
have been
emotional.
there.
It's completely emotional there.
Yeah.
So initially I think that is managed with, I had a good family support as well as friend support. That 1 week I think only that moment, if people are very emotionally close to you, will help us, right?
Okay.
So initially I would say in the first 3 years I did not had that much emotional feeling because I was a working person. And along with when you are working, you always have a security feeling there. But after that next 3 attempts, every failure was so heartbreaking, and sometimes it was so directionless what to do next. So I think I managed that 1 week with friends. Like I used to stop everything what I'm doing right now. I just go to friends or family, wherever it is. Then next, after 1 week, there is a time like we started thinking.
Okay.
So that time there was people, I was lucky enough to meet people like us who told me exactly what is lacking in me.
Okay.
So never I felt in my entire preparation, I never had a situation that it's like it is not my fault, something luck or something failed me.
Okay.
So always I had the instances where it is something which I did not focus.
Okay.
That actually failed me. So within 1 week I clearly got a direction that you work on this.
Okay.
So your score will improve. So that kind of feeling I always got in the next 1 week.
Okay.
So that actually helped me to sustain the effort. Okay. So and I always had the feeling like it's a very big challenge. So for me, well, like initially I already told you I could not write English properly. So in that place when I look, I felt it's a very big challenge for me. So every time I fail, I understood that challenge is big.
Okay.
So what I want to say to all the aspirants is that, so we are not going for a small exams. It's a very big exam and it's a very big challenge. So and failure is common for, like it's just a step towards success.
Okay.
So that thought actually my mentors told me. So from their experience, you know them personally also. So from their experience, we always had the motivation to look to Abhilash sir and Mahesh sir, right? So that feeling always motivate me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So some major words of wisdom from our dear Smilna there. So before winding up, is there something in particular that you would like to tell out to students who are planning to write mains this year as well as prelims in the next year?
So for the mains examination for this 3 months, please concentrate on answer writing part. So whatever knowledge you have in the last 1 year preparation, that is enough for this exam. We don't need to, it is not the knowledgeable person clearing the exam. It is only structured way of preparation. Just in the 3 months, just cover all the areas and just keep on practicing and spend your maximum time, because your duty is to give the best attempt you can give. So in that way, whether it is prelims or mains, always think you are giving a best attempt of yours. So and manage time properly, cover the syllabus and do the answer writing part structurally. So I think that is the basic part of, and Ashwati also knows that. Okay, that is the key to success. Yeah.
So thank you, Smilna. Thank you so much for taking out your time and spending this evening with us. Looking forward to bigger achievements from your side.
Thank you, Ashwati. Thank you so much.